If you wanna make this skirt, stay in this video. So in this project you need 2.5mm crochet hook, any yarn that is little bit bigger than your crochet hook, and you need measuring tape and stitch markers and scissors, and you need elastic band for your waist as well. So let's get started. At first we're gonna start making the swatch for this skirt so that we can know how many chain we need for the widest part of the skirt. At first, slip knot. Make 15 chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So for the first row, you do 1 double crochet on the 4th chain. 1, 2, 3, 4. Chain 1, skip 1 chain and double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1 chain, double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1 chain, double crochet. So at the end of the row 1, you should end the row 1 with double crochet. After that, chain 3, turn your work. After turning your work, you do double crochet on the 4th stitch. Chain 1, double crochet on the double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1 stitch and then double crochet on double crochet. Now I finished the second row, so for the swatch, let's do 1 more row. So chain 3, turn your work, double crochet on the 4th stitch, which is double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1 stitch, double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1 stitch, double crochet on double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1 chain, double crochet on double crochet. So every time you finish the row, you should finish with double crochet. Okay, now I finished 3 rows for the swatch, so let's count the number of double crochet. So to count the number of double crochet, you don't include the stitch on the left because this one is 3 chain. Make sure your start of the measurement is on the first double crochet, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Approximately there are 5 double crochet for 4 centimeters. So once you've done making the swatch like this, and this is a calculation. It's a bit messy and it might be unclear, but I will explain as clear as I can. So for my swatch, I had 5 double crochet for 4 centimeters, which means for 1 double crochet, it's 0.8 centimeters. And after you get this number, you should measure your widest part of the skirt, which is hip size. And for me, it is 90 centimeters. So I do 90 divided by 0.8. It's the number of double crochet you need for the skirt. For me, it was 112.5, but of course there is no decimal, so I make it 114 to make it even number. So for this project, I need 114 double crochet. And once you have this number, now you can calculate the number of chain you need to start the project. This double crochet number times 2. So this is how you do the calculation and then figure out how many chain you need for the project. So once you've done the swatch, you actually start to make the skirt. So to start the project, slip knot. And you do the number of chain you just calculated. For me, it's 228 chain. Once you have done the number of chain, you start row 1. So to start the row, chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Double crochet into the 4th stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then for the swatch and then meshed pattern, you do chain 1 and skip 1 and double crochet into the next chain. But as we are working on the top part of the skirt, which is only double crochet, we insert double crochet into each stitch without any skip. So at the end of row 1, I need to have 228 double crochet in total, which is the same number as chain. Now it's at the end of row 1, so let's connect the work to the round. So to connect the work, slip stitch into the 3rd chain. So 1, 2, 3 here. Now your skirt is round. And for this tutorial, I'm just doing with 100 stitches. So it's not my original size. To reduce the amount of work, just assume this is normal skirt size. So once you have done row 1, you do chain 3. And then after 3 chain, double crochet into the 4th stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. and you do 1 double crochet into each stitch until the end of row 2. So for me, after this clip, I will move on to this meshed pattern, and I'm not gonna do 6 centimeter of top part because it's same process over and over. So you basically do this stitch until the width is twice as big as your elastic band. So let's move on to the mesh part. So after your top part is done, chain 3, double crochet into the 4th stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, chain 1, skip 1 stitch and double crochet into the next stitch, chain 1, skip 1 stitch, double crochet here, chain 1, skip 1 stitch and here, so this is exactly same stitch as what we did with the swatch. So you do this pattern until the end of the row. So now I'm at the end of this row. So I did 1 chain, so skip 1 chain, and then I do last double crochet. So every meshed row, you should finish the row with double crochet. After doing last double crochet, you do slip stitch into the 3rd chain. Yep, that's the end of the row. To start the new row, chain 3, double crochet on the double crochet, in other words 4th stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, and chain 1, skip 1 double crochet into the next stitch, chain 1, skip 1 double crochet into the next stitch, so this is a pattern. You do exactly same meshed pattern until you reach the knee part, and then every time you finish the meshed pattern, you should finish with a double crochet. So there is the cluster of double crochet every time you finish the meshed row. So I will do 1 more row of meshed pattern with you, and then I will be explaining about how to reach the filet crochet pattern and make the pretty rose design. So I keep doing this row, chain 1, skip 1, and double crochet into the next stitch, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, so I will see you guys when I finish this row. Now it's at the end of the row, chain 1, after chain 1, skip 1 and insert last double crochet into this stitch. And then slip stitch into the third chain. So this is the slip stitch from the last row. So chain 1, chain 2 and chain 3. So we insert the slip stitch into this stitch. So now as you can see, at the end of every row of meshed pattern, there is the cluster of double crochet 1, 2 and 3. So this is the pattern. So to start the new row, you do 3 chain again and then repeat the exactly same pattern until you reach your knee. Once you have done enough row of meshed rows, let's assume your knee is around here and you just finish the meshed rows. This is the time that you start to do this fillet pattern. So I will be showing you guys how to do it. But you just choose any pixel grid that you wanna use. For me, I use the big rows with the leaves. For the fillet pattern, I didn't make this grid. I just used it from the Pinterest. So I will be inserting the inspo photo down below. So I will be showing you guys how I did it. So when we read this pixel grid, there are a couple of things that you have to know. So for the first thing, this white square means meshed pattern, which means in this skirt, it means one of this square. So you do double crochet and chain and double crochet, which is exactly same as meshed part. So whenever there's white, this little square, you do exactly same as this. The second thing is you might realize there is the black square. And if you see it more closely, you can know there are 2 lines in the middle of square, which means you do 2 extra double crochet into this mesh pattern. So for example, in my skirt, there is this one. Normally you do 1 double crochet and chain and double crochet, which is for this white square. But when the pattern says black one, you do 1 double crochet and then you do 2 extra double crochet into the chain space, and then at last double crochet. So there should be 4 double crochet in total. This is how you read the pattern. So for example, let's say you do this row. So at first there are 4 normal meshed square, which means you do 1 double crochet, chain, double crochet, chain, double crochet and so on. And when you reach at the end of this 4 meshed square, you reach this point that you have to do this black square pattern, which means you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You do 7 double crochet for the next 2 meshed square. And after that, you do 1 normal meshed pattern. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4 squares that you have to insert 2 double crochet each into the chain space. And 4 more normal meshed square and 1 of this square with 2 double crochet inside, and so on. This is how you read the pixel grid. So once you understand how to read this pixel grid, now you have to decide where to start this pattern and then where to end. And normally you want to show this pattern at the front of your skirt. And first thing first, you need to count the number of this square. And after I count for this pattern, there are 50 squares. So now we know how many squares that we need for the front part. As this pattern has the 50 squares, so I will put the stitch marker on the left side of skirt. So it's like here. Assume there's nothing down here, and then you project this like this, and now you decide where to start. And once you've decided where to start, you simply count the number of squares. For this pattern there are 50 squares, so you count 50 squares, and at the end of this you put another stitch marker. So now you put 2 stitch markers, and you know where the pixel grid pattern starts and then where to end. So I'll be showing you guys how to follow the pixel grid, and let's assume I put the stitch marker here. So this is the start of the pixel grid. And as we work from top to bottom, we should see the pattern like this. So this is the top of skirt, which is your knee, and then we are working towards this way. So now this is the start of pixel grid, which is here. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 squares here, which means we should do 7 meshed stitch. So 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet, chain 1, and so on, and make the 7 squares. So let's do it. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, now I finished 7 meshed square. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So for this pattern, for the 8th square, we do 2 more double crochet. So this is our 8th square. So into this, I just do 2 more double crochet. 1, 2, and you do another double crochet on the double crochet. So this square is this one. So as this is very simple, this row is just the after this black one, I do normal meshed square until really end, and then I have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 square with the 2 extra double crochet into each meshed square. So I will skip this one. I will show you guys more complicated place. So when the pattern gets complicated, something like this row, the way you reach the pattern is exactly same. So at first you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You do 7 of normal meshed square, and then after that you do 4 meshed square with double crochet into the chain space, and after that 3 more normal meshed square, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and after that you do 4 of meshed square with double crochet, and 5 of normal meshed square, and so on. So this is how you follow the pixel grid. So when you finish the pixel pattern, it should look like this. And one thing that you have to keep in mind when you work on this pixel pattern, which is below your knee, is in the normal round, you are doing slip stitch into the 3rd chain at the end of every round. But I want my skirt to be with the slit below my knee. So every round after your knee, you don't do slip stitch. So after you finish normal meshed round, you don't do slip stitch into the third chain, and you just do same pattern back and forth, not round and round. So below knee it's all opened like this, and there is a slit. When you finish all the way up to the bottom, you have to insert your elastic band, because I didn't do any decrease throughout the project, and your project should be the size of your hip, which is the widest part, so your waist wouldn't fit if you don't put the elastic band. So for inserting the elastic band, I will not show you guys step by step because this is no beginner friendly video, but I will put the link down below of the elastic band. So the skirt looks like this, and thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions, please leave the comments so I will reply to you guys. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.